Hello everyone, my name is AZZATRU, how are you, and welcome to another Star Wars Battlefront 2 video. And in this video I've got some exclusive gameplay to share with you of hero ships that are going to be in Star Wars Battlefront 2. Now the gameplay mode you'll be seeing is called Starfighter Assault, and if you missed any of my two previous videos, they were basically long gameplays of me playing as both the Rebels and the Empire in this game mode on Fondor Imperial Shipyard, which is a map that you're going to be playing in the beta. But in this video I'm going to be telling you what hero ships I got a chance to play as and what abilities they have, because everyone wants to know what has changed from some of the previous game hero vehicles as well as the new hero ships. So I'm going to be starting off with Scimitar, which is essentially Darth Maul's ship from Phantom Menace. Then I'm going to be moving on to Black One, which is Poe Dameron's X-Wing, and then we'll talk about the Slave One, which has returned, as well as the Millennium Falcon as well. Now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be showcasing gameplay of each whilst I talk about each, and then once I finish with the Millennium Falcon I'll play even more gameplay if there is any extra gameplay left of each ship, so you can enjoy even more gameplay. So let's get started with the Scimitar. So it has target lock, which is its first ability, and when you activate it you cannot lose the target and the time to achieve a missile lock is reduced. The second ability is Stealth Drive, and this is one people have been waiting for. When activating this you'll pretty much go invisible, you'll be cloaked, and any lock-on that you have will be broken, and it also prevents missile locks onto you as well. Now shots fired receive a damage bonus for a short time, but then it will deactivate the Stealth Drive, and on top of that I think this is a really good ability. It's very long, like you can just, you know, if you don't shoot you can stay in Stealth Drive for quite a while, and it does take a while to cool down again, but it's definitely one of the more powerful abilities. And also you have dual proton torpedoes as your final ability, so you can actually fire two missiles simultaneously which track the locked target and deal high damage, so this is pretty much insta kill. Also its standard weaponry is very good as well, so you can have, it's a bit like the TIE interceptor weapon, it's very fast fired, it overheats really quickly, but if you land almost every single shot you'll kill any starfighter that you look at. It's really powerful if you're accurate. As for star cards in this Gamescom build for the Scimitar, there is Tactical Jammer, which actually increases the time for enemy missiles to lock onto you. There is also Cooling Systems, which reduces the overheat cooldown, and Deadly Ambusher further increases damage to shots for a short time after decloaking, so this is really useful if you're typically one to break cover when cloaking a lot. Next up is Black One, which is Poe Dameron's X-Wing. So you have BB-8 Repair, which is going to be familiar to those that have played the Death Star DLC and Luke Skywalker's Red 5. It instantly restores a moderate amount of lost health, and Black Leader is its second ability. It pulses out to reveal all enemies within targeting distance to allied players. Pulse enemies receive increased damage as well. This is more of a team player ability, but it is still really fun to use. There is also a third ability called Proton Torpedo, which everyone will know that have played the first game. It fires a missile that tracks onto a locked target and deals high damage. It's just much better than the standard X-Wing one, and of course its standard blaster ability as its primary weapon is probably slightly high damage, I would guess. It seemed like that anyway, and of course it will have more health than the standard X-Wing. So as for the star cards for Black One, there is Experience Leader, which increases the duration of pulse targets, and Toon Lasers, which increases the primary weapon damage, and Ferrospear Paint, which actually increases the time for enemy missiles to lock onto you. Now let's move on to Slave One, which is a hero ship returning from Star Wars Battlefront. You get Iron Cannons, which activates a cannon that will deal low damage but reduce the target's speed for a short time. So that's quite an interesting one, because typically most abilities deal more damage, but this actually reduces the speed but does less damage, so that's interesting, and I quite like the idea of that, because honestly it's really fun to shoot at the more heavier ships that really can't do anything, like the bombers for example. They literally cannot do anything, or you know, for example, if you was trying to take out an A-Wing, they would be a lot slower. There's also Seismic Charge, which is probably the most iconic and fun ability out of all of these hero ships. So you know the drill from episode 2 Attack of the Clones. when that seismic charge is dropped, there is a couple of seconds of pure silence, which is fear for the rebellion, right? And boom, it's incredible. The sound is awesome. Anyone within that radius will have suffered loads of damage. It's very, very powerful, and it's perfect when surprising enemies that are trying to take out your shipyard. And I got a lot of kills with it, and honestly, it's awesome. I thought my headset was broken when I first joined into the game, and it happened. I was like, where's the sound? And boom, it's very, very loud. It's pretty awesome. And finally, we have Concussion Missile. This fires a fast missile that tracks to a locked on target and does moderate damage, so that's also a nice ability. The star cards that were available for Slave 1 in this build was Heavy Seismic Charge, which improves the radius of the charge, so you know, it goes from 175 all the way to 250. We also have Reinforced Hull, which obviously increases the total health of you. And finally, we have Cooling Systems, which reduces the overheat cooldown. And finally, we have the Millennium Falcon, which has Afterburner, which gives an instant speed boost beyond the maximum speed for a long period of time. And the speed boost can be cancelled, unlike in the first game, so you can actually stop yourself from boosting around if it's too much, because sometimes you just have to slow down for those objectives that you want to take out, and this is just, you know, a very similar ability from the first game. Special modifications actually increase the primary weapon damage and prevents overheat for the duration of the ability. Now, the turrets of the Millennium Falcon are pretty powerful, so adding this onto it is also a very good option, and I really enjoyed using it. And finally, we have Concussion Missile, which, as you all know, fires a fast missile that tracks the locked target and does moderate damage. Now let's take a look at those star cards. Well, we have Wookiee Engineering, which increases the damage dealt by special modifications, and we also have Reinforced Health like Slave 1, so you can actually increase the total health, and Advanced Capacitors, so this increases the time to overheat your primary weapon, which is all great because it just means you won't have to worry about overheating so much. So that's all the hero ships, abilities and star cards that have been revealed so far for Star Wars Battlefront 2, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I will leave you with some extra gameplay of the Starfighters, so make sure you do stay until the end of the video if you want to see extra gameplay, and of course, if you want to check out any of the two previous videos that will be on screen at the end of the video, go check those out as well. They're full gameplay of Starfighter Assault, whether you want to be the Empire or whether you want to be the Rebels, it'll be there. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like, I'd really appreciate it, and of course check out my channel for any other Starfighter Assault videos. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of the gameplay. Goodbye.
Generators down. The dock is unshielded. Intercept their X-Wings. Failure is not an option. Any ships firing on those power clamps need to be taken out.
They're out of action. Both blockade runners are down.
Look at that!
Generators down. Stand by. Scanning.
I know! We're hit, pal! Run the repair protocols now!
shields remain up, but the duct tanks powering them are under disabled.
Taking fire!
Only one generator remains. If it fails, the path to the Star Destroyer will open.
That was close. Come back along. Turn it off! Turn it off! And watch his cannons go to work. There's where the funding is. Like we're just about done. Shields offline. Now, focus all fire on the reactor. We don't have much time. Shields are back online. We need to hit those clamps again. All right. The reactor is wide open. Get in with everything you've got before the shields are back online. The Star Destroyer's reactor is critical. It won't take much more. Come on, baby, hold together.